Listen closely. Something shifts today. Something releases. Something that has been locked inside your throat, trapped inside your mind, tangled inside your heart, finally breaks free. December 17th is not just another day. It is the moment Mercury completes its post-retrograde shadow period in Sagittarius. And when this cosmic interference finally clears, your voice, your truth, your clarity returns with a force you haven't felt in months. This is a message that finds you because your energy has been waiting for this exact release. This is not entertainment. This is liberation. This is your voice returning to you. Before we go deeper, make sure you leave a like and subscribe and comment. I am ready to speak my truth, because what is unfolding in this message is not just information. It is activation. Take a breath. Feel the weight lifting from your chest. You are stepping into a transmission meant only for those who are ready to reclaim their voice. Since October 21st, you have been navigating one of the longest, most intense Mercury cycles of the entire year. The pre-shadow, the retrograde, the direct station, and now today, the final clearing of the post-shadow. For nearly 2 months, your words have been tested, your messages have been delayed, your intentions have been misunderstood, and your truth has been filtered through fog, confusion, and interference. You may have felt like no matter how clearly you tried to communicate, something got lost in translation. No matter how many times you explained yourself, people still didn't hear you. No matter how much you wanted to speak your truth, something stopped you, silenced you, or twisted your words before they could land. This was not your fault. This was the Mercury shadow, a cosmic recalibration period where communication, thought, and expression undergo deep revision. And today, that revision is complete. The interference clears, the fog lifts, your voice returns. Mercury's retrograde journey through Scorpio and Sagittarius has been anything but gentle. Scorpio forced you to confront hidden truths, unspoken resentments, buried emotions, and the words you've been too afraid to say. It pulled secrets from the depths, exposed lies you told yourself, and revealed the emotional weight you've been carrying in silence. Then Mercury moved into Sagittarius, expanding those truths, pushing them toward honesty, toward expression, toward freedom. But in retrograde, that freedom felt restricted. The truth wanted to come out, but the timing wasn't right. The words wanted to be spoken, but they came out wrong. The message wanted to be delivered, but it got lost, delayed, or misinterpreted. You may have sent texts that were misunderstood, had conversations that led to arguments instead of clarity, tried to express your feelings, and watched them get twisted into something you never meant. You may have held back words that needed to be said because you sensed the energy wasn't aligned yet. You may have felt frustrated, silenced, or like no one was truly listening. This was the shadow period testing. Your truth refining your message, preparing you to speak with clarity once the portal opened. And today, the portal opens. Mercury at 6 degrees and 51 minutes of Sagittarius clears, the final degree of its retrograde shadow. This is the exact spot where Mercury first went retrograde back on November 9th. The cycle is complete. The revision is done. The recalibration is finished. What needed to be reviewed has been reviewed. What needed to be said has been said, or is now ready to be said. What needed to be understood has finally become clear. And now, Mercury moves forward into completely new territory, no longer retracing old ground, no longer revisiting past conversations, no longer stuck in the loop of miscommunication and delay. From this moment forward, every word you speak enters fresh space. Every message you send moves into clear energy. Every truth you express lands with precision. You may feel this shift immediately. A sudden urge to reach out to someone. A sudden clarity about what you need to say. A sudden release of the frustration that has been building for weeks. Your throat may feel lighter. Your mind may feel sharper. Your thoughts may flow with an ease you haven't experienced since October. This is the communication portal reopening. This is your voice being returned to you. This is the universe saying, now you can speak, now you will be heard, now your truth can move freely without interference. The shadow is not just an astrological technicality. It is an energetic reality. During the shadow period, Mercury is still retracing the degrees it covered during retrograde. Even though it's moving forward, it's moving through familiar territory, reworking old themes, revisiting old conversations, clearing old misunderstandings. The energy is still murky. The signal is still distorted. Communication still carries remnants of the retrograde confusion. But when Mercury clears the shadow, it steps into virgin territory. It moves into degrees it hasn't touched in this cycle. The energy becomes fresh, clear, unobstructed. And that is what happens today. You are no longer operating in the retrograde aftermath. You are stepping into a completely new communication timeline. This is why today feels different, why something inside you releases, why the weight you've been carrying in your chest, your throat, your mind, suddenly feels lighter. The cosmic interference is gone. Your signal is clear. Your truth can finally move. For the past 2 months, you may have noticed patterns repeating in your conversations. The same misunderstandings showing up again and again. The same person not getting what you're trying to say. The same situation requiring you to explain yourself over and over. The same emotional triggers being activated every time you try to communicate something important. This was not random. This was the shadow period showing you where your communication patterns need to shift, where your truth needs to be spoken more clearly, where your voice needs to be stronger, more authentic, more aligned with who you are becoming. Mercury, retrograde in Scorpio and Sagittarius, asked you to look at the places where you've been silent when you should have spoken, where you've been dishonest when you should have been truthful, where you've avoided difficult conversations because you were afraid of the consequences, where you've let other people speak for you instead of claiming your own voice. And now, today, you have the clarity to see those patterns. You have the awareness to change them. You have the strength to speak differently. The shadow period was your training ground. It tested your truth. It refined your message. It showed you where your communication was unclear, dishonest, or misaligned. And now, armed with that awareness, you step into a new timeline where your voice carries power, precision, and authenticity. You are not the same communicator you were 2 months ago. You are clearer, stronger, more aligned with your truth. And today, that truth gets to move freely. One of the most significant aspects of this shadow clearing is the return of mental clarity. Since October, your mind may have felt foggy, scattered, or overwhelmed. Thoughts that were once clear became tangled. Decisions that should have been simple felt impossibly complex. Your focus may have been fragmented, your memory unreliable, your mental energy drained. You may have felt like you were thinking in circles, revisiting the same thoughts over and over without resolution. This is classic Mercury shadow energy. The mind is in revision mode, processing, reviewing, reworking, but not yet clear. But today, that fog lifts. Your thoughts begin to organize themselves. Your mental clarity returns. Ideas that were jumbled suddenly make sense. Decisions that felt impossible suddenly become obvious. The mental overwhelm dissolves, replaced by a sharp, focused awareness that allows you to see your path clearly. This is not just about communication with others. This is about communication with yourself. The way you think, the way you process information, the way you make decisions, the way you understand your own truth. Mercury clearing the shadow restores your inner dialogue. You can trust your thoughts again. You can trust your mental processes. You can trust your ability to discern truth from illusion. This is the gift of today's transit. Mental sovereignty, the return of your own mind. Sagittarius energy demands honesty, expansion, and the courage to speak truth even when it's uncomfortable. And now that Mercury is clear of the shadow in this sign, your ability to express your truth with confidence, clarity, and boldness returns. You may feel a sudden urge to have conversations you've been avoiding, to send messages you've been holding back, to speak words that have been sitting on the edge of your tongue for weeks. This is not impulsive. This is aligned. The universe has spent 2 months preparing you for these conversations, refining your message, clearing the interference. And now the timing is right. The energy is clear. Your words will land. But this doesn't mean every conversation will be easy. Sagittarius speaks truth, and truth can be confrontational, challenging, or disruptive. You may need to set boundaries you've been avoiding. You may need to express feelings someone doesn't want to hear. You may need to speak up in situations where silence has been easier. But the difference now is that your truth comes from clarity, not confusion. From alignment, not frustration. From strength, not desperation. When you speak from this place, your words carry power. They land with impact. They create change. Over the past 2 months, you may have felt like certain relationships were stuck in loops of miscommunication, the same arguments repeating, the same misunderstandings arising, the same person not hearing you no matter how many times you tried to explain. This was the shadow period, revealing where communication in your relationships needs to shift, where honesty needs to replace avoidance, where clarity needs to replace assumption, where truth needs to replace pretense. And today, you have the opportunity to break those loops, to have the conversation that finally brings resolution, to speak the words that shift the dynamic, to express the truth that has been waiting beneath the surface. For some, this will mean reconnecting with someone you've lost touch with during the retrograde. A message you've been waiting for finally arrives. A conversation you thought was over gets reopened. An apology you needed to hear finally comes through. For others, this will mean closure. A conversation that brings finality to a situation that has been dragging on for months. A truth that ends a relationship that was never meant to continue. A realization that shifts your perspective and allows you to let go. Either way, today's shadow clearing brings movement in relationships that have felt stagnant, stuck, or blocked. The communication flows again. The truth emerges. The path forward becomes clear. If you work in communication, writing, teaching, speaking, or any field that requires mental clarity and expression, today's transit is especially significant for you. The creative and professional blocks you've been experiencing since October begin to dissolve. Ideas flow more easily. Words come more naturally. Projects that felt stuck suddenly move forward. Your ability to articulate your vision, express your ideas, and communicate your message returns with force. You may notice a surge of inspiration today. A sudden clarity about a project you've been struggling with. A breakthrough in your creative process. A message or idea that shifts everything. This is Mercury clearing the shadow, removing the interference that has been blocking your creative and professional expression. Trust the ideas that come through today. Trust the clarity that arrives. Trust your ability to communicate your vision with precision and power. Technology and logistics have been chaotic during this shadow period. Emails lost, messages delayed, devices malfunctioning, travel plans disrupted, contracts requiring endless revisions, miscommunications creating unnecessary complications. All of this begins to stabilize today. The technical glitches fade. The logistical challenges resolve. Communication tools work smoothly again. If you've been waiting for a message, a response, a confirmation, or a decision, today is the day it may finally arrive. The delays clear. The blockages dissolve. The information you've been waiting for comes through. This is the practical side of Mercury clearing the shadow. Life becomes easier. Communication becomes smoother. The daily frustrations that have been draining your energy finally ease. The universe has been preparing you for this moment. Every misunderstanding, every delay, every miscommunication during the shadow period was not punishment. It was refinement. It was showing you where your communication needs to evolve, where your truth needs to be clearer, where your voice needs to be stronger. And now, you step into the timeline where that evolution takes hold. You are not the same person you were 2 months ago. Your relationship with truth has deepened. Your ability to speak authentically has strengthened. Your mental clarity has sharpened. Your communication has become more aligned with who you are at your core. This is the power of the shadow clearing. It doesn't just restore what was, it elevates you into what you are becoming. You speak with more truth. You think with more clarity. You communicate with more power. And as Mercury moves forward into completely new degrees, every word you speak, every thought you think, every message you send enters a fresh, energetic field. One that supports your truth. One that amplifies your voice. One that allows your communication to create real, lasting change. Today is your release day, your liberation day, your return to clarity. The cosmic fog has lifted. The interference is gone. Your voice is yours again, and the universe is ready to hear what you have to say. Speak your truth. Send that message. Have that conversation. Express what you've been holding back. The timing is aligned. The energy is clear. Your words will land exactly where they need to. If this message resonated with your soul, make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and comment, "I am ready to speak my truth," to anchor this energy into your timeline. The shadow has cleared. The portal is open. Your voice has returned. And the next chapter of your communication journey begins right now. You are not imagining the shift you feel today. You are not overthinking the clarity that's arriving. This is real. This is cosmic alignment. This is your truth being set free. The universe is listening, and it's time for you to speak.